When it comes to bathing, is it really debatable? I'm not so sure about this. Crystal Young seems to think there's some debate on it. Some people shower once a day, twice a day, some not at all. Right?
Yes.
And I know who you are, Crystal.
Yes, that's right.
Not
We're not
you.
going to call out
you.
anybody specifically.
It's not debatable as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, well, how often could be? Here's the deal. Some of the best stories, I always say, come from conversations. And then when more people are talking about that and they're all chiming in, I'm like, okay, that is a good story. So I had a conversation with a friend about her grandmother who's like, I don't need to bathe today. I could skip it today. But she really sort of sits around. She's not exerting herself, so maybe that's okay. Then there are some people that bathe twice a day. Do you bathe at night? Do you bathe in the morning? I mean, it really isn't one size fits all. So we went to the experts to get some tips. Take a look.
It's a huge trend all over social media, the everything shower.
First, I start with the sand and salt scrub.
Leisurely bathing rituals where you spend a long time in the shower, rubbing, scrubbing, exfoliating, moisturizing. You get the point. But when it comes to length, how long should we stay in the shower? Is it even necessary to bathe every day? Is it better to bathe at night or in the morning or both? And if you miss a day, yikes, should you quarantine yourself? Answering those questions was a subject that got everyone talking.
Every day, sometimes twice a day, but it goes past being hygienic for me. It's relaxing. It's an emotional thing for me.
I shower every day, once a day usually, unless I go to the gym.
Your arms stink, everything else stinks. I mean, yeah, I gotta get a shower every day.
Okay. If you didn't...
I've heard use soap on your, maybe your face, your underarms, and not have to use soap everywhere so your shower's quicker.
Okay, gotcha.
Otherwise your body don't lose all the moisturizer and all that.
Okay. But you're bathing at least once a day?
At least once a day.
Cosmetic dermatologist Dr. Ariel Ostad says we should all avoid excessive bathing, which, believe it or not, all you shower lovers, is twice a day.
Twice a day, I think, is absolutely not a good idea.
Here's why.
If you're showering too much, you strip away the microbiome, the good bacteria, and you actually promote the unhealthy bacteria when there's that imbalance.
Marcus Antibby bathes twice a day, but knows better.
I'm better off if I bathe very little because there's a nice protective film of good bacteria that we're constantly washing off, and it's one of probably about 30 things that we do to weaken our immune system.
So the answer to the question, how often should you bathe, is really... it depends. It depends on your level of physical activity. It also depends on how dry your skin is naturally. But Dr. Ostad says he sees way more people that bathe too often than people that don't bathe often enough.
Our skin's function really functions at its best when there's a nice proper moisture barrier. And excessive bathing, showering actually strips away all that moisture barrier, and it leads to actually skin inflammation. And then patients present with itching and irritation and what we call eczema. It can really lead to potentially acne.
You probably never thought you needed any, but here's a few bathing tips.
The key is that if you're going to shower, you can wash your body, but you don't need to necessarily use soap all over your body every day. It's important to use soap, obviously, in critical areas, let's say your armpits, your groin, your backside, your buttock area, but you don't need to necessarily use excessive soap, let's say, on your arms and legs, because that's just going to lead to dryness.
How often do you bathe? And do you bathe at night ever?
Every day.
Okay.
And a mix, night or the morning, or sometimes both.
Okay. And how often do you wash your hair?
Every day.
Okay, gotcha.
What's ever left of it.
Which brings us to the question of hair.
How often do you wash your hair?
I wash my hair once every other week, but I only wash my hair twice a week.
Okay, gotcha. Now, why is that? Do you feel like if you washed it more often, you dry it out?
I feel like if I wash my hair more often, yes, it dries out very quickly, and I have naturally curly hair.
Gotcha.
But I have to do a body wash, especially living in the city, every day.
Unless your hair is super oily, you can easily skip a daily shampoo.
Excessive washing can actually strip the moisture barrier and lead to potentially irritation of your scalp and lead to hair loss.
This question you ask really thinks about consciousness, social behavior patterns, and what our ancestors did. They weren't bathing all the time the way that we do.
I know.
I mean, they were probably sweaty and disgusting half the time.
Things that make you go,
There's something very relaxing about taking a bath or shower. You know?
100%. And you know, when you talk about at night or in the morning, I talked to a woman and she said, I have to bathe at night to be clean because my bed is my sanctuary.
Yes.
And I want it to be clean. I want to be clean as a New Yorker. That's what makes me feel good. So I can get with that too. But I feel like if you ask a million people, you'll get a million responses. It is very personal, but you don't, unless you're really moving and grooving, have to bathe twice a day. My skin is a little too dry for that.
Yeah.
But if I'm dirty and it's nighttime, then I do want to wash my feet, or you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
100%.